Привет, comrades! Меня зовут Ivan. Welcome back to the Foreign Russian Language Bureau. This is episode number 4, and today we're going to talk about a delicious subject, a subject of food. And this time around, we're going to acquire the ways to order food in Russian. Now we're gonna go over the new phrases, new vocabulary, and of course we get to the questions. Right. Now you'll ask me, why is it always questions that we're learning? Why it is not the technical stuff such as tenses, prepositions, nouns, and stuff like that? I tell you why. You see, the first couple of months, up to a year, it depends on the person, of course. Your brain is still adapting to the new information. It's still difficult for him to process the new information because it has to build the new cells, new memory blocks for this new sound system that you're enforcing him. And there's also another reason. This sound system, the new sound system that you're learning, be it Russian, be it any other language, it goes against your own native system. That's why our brain doesn't want to process this information very well. And that's why we'll have to go easy. And we will have to ask more questions. The first couple of months we'll have to listen, simply listen to the people around us pronouncing words. For this purpose we'll have to know how to ask people, right? So we'll have to know how to control, manipulate the conversation, and this is where our questions come into play. This is where we have to learn, the key questions for all kinds of situations out there. So I'm giving you, every episode I'm giving you the situation in which you can ask people, you can ask Russian people to answer them. You can lead them to the topic that you desire. You can manipulate and ask additional information. You can ask people for, what do you mean by this? How do you pronounce this again? I didn't catch it the first time. How do you say it again? What's this word? I didn't know that. Can you repeat that, please? So you can actually control the situation. You can be an aggressor. Because you see, the first year, we'll have to build a foundation for our new sound system, and we have to isolate it from the rest of your native language. So imagine in a brain, now we're at this level where we're building the foundation, and after a couple of months we'll have to build the walls and the ceiling to separate it and isolate it from the rest of your language system in your brain. And for this purpose, when all the walls, ceiling, and the foundation is built, we'll be adding more additional information such as tenses, nouns, and any other additional information which is also very important. But at this stage, the only thing that matters is listening. You'll have to get to know this language. You'll have to get your brain to adapt, to process easily this language, to attune your ears to the new sound system. So this is what we're gonna do. The first couple of episodes will be only based on situations where I'm giving you all kinds of questions, and you have to manipulate this situation. So hopefully you'll remember those key phrases, those key questions, and you hopefully will use them out there in the real life to ask people around you. and in order to process this whole new system very easily. So enough of talking, let's get to the nitty-gritty subject. Хорошо. Last time we asked strangers for directions. This time, however, we will go to one of the shopping centers in Moscow and order some food. Now, you'll be surprised to see a lot of American food in Tsum, the central shopping center located just right across the Red Square. Now, we cannot read Cyrillics yet, but of course we can point to the menu and say I want a Big Mac, and there's high chances of you getting a Big Mac, but you gotta know the exact amount, and also you have to be accurate and sharp in your pronunciation. All these nuances, you know, if you want to avoid all this, I suggest you to learn the proper and the easiest way to order food in Russian. Хорошо. So you go to the food court and you would like to order 2 Big Macs, 1 fry, and a Diet Coke. So listen carefully to the following conversation. This is situation number 1. Здравствуйте. 2 Биг Мака, 1 картошку и диетическую колу. I speak English, she responds, to what you should politely say, по-русски, пожалуйста. She smiles and says, хорошо, 2 Биг Мака, 1 картошку и диетическую колу. Что-нибудь еще? You say, спасибо, это все. Не за что. She gives you back your bill and dispense some rubles. Now let's move on to the situation number 2. Imagine that you're walking past by a little food place that sells Russian authentic food. So you feel a bit hungry after a long walk from Taganskaya metro down to the Red Square, so you decided to stop and check out the menu. So you ask the waitress, so from now on I want you to listen very carefully. Простите, что посоветуете? She points to a menu and you say, я не читаю по-русски. Что это? She answers, пироги. Then you say, тогда 2 пирога, пожалуйста. So this time we shall read carefully and slowly, and the words will be given on your screen. Здравствуйте. 2 Биг Мака, 1 картошку и диетическую колу. Хорошо. 2 Биг Мака, 1 картошку и диетическую колу. Что-нибудь еще? Спасибо, это все. Не за что. Situation number 2. Простите, что посоветуете? Я не читаю по-русски. Что это? Пироги. Тогда 2 пирога, пожалуйста. Okay, now after getting attuned to the sounds of those new words and after getting to know the meaning of the words, it's time to work on our accent, on our phonetics and our pronunciation. We'll make it look sharp and make it look more comprehensible. Of course it's gonna sound more Russian-like. And if you're gonna work on this section hard enough, you will acquire language 2 times faster. So here we go. Situation number 1. I want you to repeat after me slowly and pronounce each phonetic block the way I am doing that. Here we go. Здравствуйте. 2 Биг Мака, 1 картошку и диетическую колу. Хорошо. 2 Биг Мака, 1 картошку и диетическую колу. Что-нибудь еще? Спасибо, это все. Не за что. Now situation number 2. Imitate. Простите, что посоветуете? Я не читаю по-русски. Что это? Пироги. Тогда 2 пирога. Пожалуйста. So now we have come to the last section of this episode, my comrades, the section on mnemonics. And I would like to emphasize again the importance of this strategy, because you see our brain doesn't want to function on the constant repetition, and you don't want to sound like a language parrot, do you? You don't want to sound like a parrot at all. So that's why I am giving you the whole bunch of imaginary situations and worlds in which we add some colors, emotions, and different and other stuff to our memory in order to extract information easily whenever we need it. Because memory, you see, it fails us all the time, and when memory fails, the association comes into play, and it helps us to remember, and what is most important, it helps us to extract information in the times of need, at the times when we say we're under stress, or we're having a conversation, or we are when we are in the unfamiliar situations. This is where mnemonics helps us. And you see, mnemonics also helps you to improve your memory, and it, for our purpose for learning new language, it helps us to build new memory cells 2 times faster than the regular ways of learning language. So you'll extract information 2 times faster than your peers. So let's get to our mnemonics already. Come on, Ivan, stop talking already. So the first word that we acquired today is здравствуйте. Imagine you say hello to the Russian Special Forces ZDRA, which is fighting versus a TVU terrorist group while drinking some tea. Zdra, Special Force, Zdrast versus TVU, Здравствуй, T, and T. Здравствуйте, hello. Dvi, dva. Dva is a word meaning for 2. Imagine there's 2 molecules, DVA and DNA. So DVA and DNA are two important molecules. Now одну or один. Один is a word for one in Russian. And I suggest you to think about the Scandinavian god Odin. Odin was one of the major Scandinavian gods. Well, good, very well. Now the word kartoshka. It's a word for fry in Russian. Imagine a crow. It makes sound kar sound when he's flying over Toshka lakes and when he sees a fry. So kar sound that a crow makes while flying over Toshka lakes when he sees a fry. Kartoshka, fry. Now the longest word that we learned today, dietическое. It is a word for diet, yes, and it starts with the diet word, so it is very simple to remember it. And the ending, however, I suggest you to remember this way. So diet makes me itchy. Диетическое, because of the kaya seed in it. So diet makes me itchy. Диетическая, and the seed kaya. Диетическая diet. Cola, it's a Coke. So cola, Coke is very, similar. Русский. I don't think it's gonna be a problem for you to remember this word, because Russians love to ski. So русский, easy, right? The word пожалуйста, the word for please in Russian. Imagine a pork and jambon. Pork and jambon. Please, said a French actor, Louis Starr. He likes pork and jambon, and he says, please, I want a pork and jambon, says a French actor, Louis Starr. Пожалуйста. 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 The word for something, что-нибудь. Что. Think about cheetah. A cheetah was adopted by a neo-Buddha, что-нибудь, which means something else. Cheetah was adopted with a neo-Buddha with something else. Cheetah. Think about cheetah and neo-Buddha, что-нибудь, something. Это, this. Think about a soccer player, Samuel Eto'o. And you say, oh, is this him walking? Is this Samuel Eto'o? So, the last couple of words. So, the word for to suggest or to recommend, посоветуйте. So, I recommend you to remember this way. Think about post-Soviet countries that suggested to put a veto on Yeti. Post-Soviet countries recommended to put a veto on Yeti. Посоветуйте, to recommend. Читаю, meaning to read. And again, let's take our cheetahs and imagine you say cheetah and you can both read. Did you know that? Cheetah and you can both read. Читаю, читаю. So next word is pirog, and it could be tricky at times because it reminds you of the word pirogis in English, but it doesn't mean quite the same thing. Pirog in Russian means a patty and not pirogis. So I suggest you just to remember that pirog is patty in Russian, and pirogis is something else. And well, the other words like po in и and еще, for more, все, all, тогда, then, I suggest you to remember them inside the phrases and near to the next, to the units of the language that they're placed. And maybe in the next section on mnemonics we'll think about any situation or any sort of association for these words. But for now, you're good with the words I've given you already, and I'll see you next time. And hopefully there will be more episodes, and hopefully they'll come out more frequently. And thank you for checking me out today. Меня зовут Иван. You are watching Foreign Russian Language Bureau. Пока.